Hi everyone and welcome to this tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to crochet this bag. It uses 18 squares in total, 9 for the front and 9 for the back. And the tutorial for the squares is in an extra video. It's my very first video and I will link down below. You will need 7 grams per square. And the squares will take you approximately 20 minutes to crochet. And I did not, unfortunately, I didn't measure the time for the rest. It will be also quite a few hours, I guess, to complete the bag. So in total you will have for the squares approximately 6 hours and then a few more for the rest. And I used for this lemon color, I used 43 grams of yarn. And for this bag, because I have handles that are thicker and I have more stitches here, I used approximately 55 grams from the for the joining color. Okay, so some parts of the tutorial will be shown with a small sample or with other small samples, and I think that was it for now. You will find important other information in the description box below. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I hope you will enjoy this tutorial, and yeah, let's begin. So I'm going to use a 4mm hook today for the joining. I will start horizontally with single crochet stitches, and then I will go vertically. And I will start with a standing single crochet, and then I will single crochet into every one of the stitches, including the corner stitches. This makes 17 stitches per square. So in the end I will have 51 stitches across, and also here as well. But vertically I will go 17 and then chain 1 in between because there will be a hurdle, then 17, chain 1, 17. So in the end it will be also 51 single crochet, but there will be a chain 1 in between. Okay, so that's what we are going to do now. To start, I'm going to flip the top square on top of the other one, so that the right sides are facing, and this one is upside down and the other one is right side up. So the next thing will be the standing single crochet. For the standing single crochet you are going to make a loop and place it on your hook. And now I'm grabbing both of the squares, and since I'm going to crochet into the corner stitch first, you can mark the corner stitch if you want to with a thread of yarn or with a marker. So I'm usually doing it like this, but not always. And I'm finding the middle stitch, the corner stitch, and I'm going under both legs of the V. And here I haven't made an invisible join, so here this stitch is one of the 3 corner stitches, and this is the middle stitch, and I'm going to go in here. So this is the situation now, and I'm going to grab my yarn and pull it through all of these strands. And then I'm grabbing my yarn again, and this is my standing single crochet. And now I will just continue to work single crochets, and I'm doing this sometimes one by one like this, and I'm checking where I was before so that I don't accidentally work into the same stitch again. But you can also align these two, especially once you have established the first 2 or 3 stitches. You can just go like this, but sometimes I'm off in a case like this. If I do it like this, Sometimes I miss a stitch or something, but what you can do then is to check if you have been in every stitch. So I'm going to do this and I will meet you back here when I'm attaching the next 2 squares. So this is what it looks like now. I do have 17 loops here that are visible from the front, and this is what it looks like from the back right now. And now the same again. I will just flip the top square onto the other one, and I'm doing the same thing again without chaining or anything. So I'm just going to find the next corner stitch on both squares and find my yarn tail and just continue until the end of all of the squares. So the next 2 squares will be attached the exact same way, and I will meet you at the very end. So this is what it looks like now from the front here as well. And okay, so now I've only got to chain 1, 2, I forgot the word for crochet. Bind off is not the right word. Cast off is also not the right word. I really forgot. So I'm cutting the yarn, and now, oops, sorry. And now the same process again, but probably it's easier this time to flip the bottom one onto the top one and then grab it like this and then crochet them together. And when you have done this, I will meet you back here. So this is what it looks like now. And now I'm showing you it from the back, and now comes the fiddliest part. So the beginning will be exactly the same again, the process, and I will meet you here, I think, at these, yes. This is the fiddliest part really, because you will have to crochet into the corner stitch again and here as well. But you will be able to see which one is the corner stitch because it has been used up already once. I can show you in another example what it looks like in the end. Here, I can zoom in a little bit. This is what it should look like from the front. So every one of these corner stitches will be used twice, at least here at the crossroads, kind of. Here, of course, only once. Yes. So I think, yeah, let's get going. Okay, I will probably not talk. I'm here 1 stitch before the corner stitch. I will work into this and into the corner stitch, and then I will chain 1, and then I will go into the corner stitch again. So I will do this silently because this is really for me, even off camera, it's not easy, but I'm still talking. Yes. Chain 1, and here, as you can see, there is already a stitch in here, so I don't even have to look really. But let's check from the front if I have done everything correctly. Yeah, it looks good. Okay, so just continue in this manner, and when you have completed everything, and me as well, then we will meet each other again. In the next step, I will work a 2 round border around the whole square, And I will just give you the numbers real quick. In round 1 I will crochet 17 stitches per square, so this makes 3 times 17 makes 51 stitches, plus the corner stitches. So I will have 51 times 4 plus 4 corner stitches will make 208 stitches in total. So in the corner stitches there are always 3 stitches, and one counts for this side, one counts for this side, and one counts as the corner stitch. That's how I am calculating this. And after round 2, in round 2 you will have, because you will work 3 corner stitches again into 1 corner stitch, you will have 2 more per side, which will be then 53 each side times 4 plus 4 corner stitches will give you a total number of 216 stitches. You can also, I gave you both of these numbers because you can also stop after round 1. So you don't have to crochet 2 rounds with me. And I will show you this on this small sample. I wanted to show you something before we start. Here is the corner where I started, and I think you can see that there are kind of, it looks like as if there were 4 stitches in here, even though it's just 3. And here you can see it's just 3 stitches. And so I feel like this is not too visible in the corners because there are many multiple stitches in there anyway. But if you would like to start somewhere here, which you can do, you can start anywhere, I would recommend to use a standing single crochet, because in that case you will not have 2 strands, and it will not look as if you have 2 stitches in 1 stitch. Okay, so I'm starting at the bottom left corner of this little sample, and I'm just going to go into the corner stitch and grab my yarn. Now I'm making sure that I have the tail here a little bit, so that at least in the corners I will crochet over it. So I'm chaining 1 now, and I will work 3 single crochets into the very same stitch. So this is then the corner again, and after this I will single crochet in each stitch across, and I will meet you here. Okay, so this is what it looks like now, and I'm at the join now, and here you can see there is 1 stitch left. It's the corner stitch, and I will work a single crochet into there, and I will now ignore the in between, and I'm going to go directly into the next corner stitch of the next square. And now I will continue working single crochets. I will place 3 stitches into the very corner stitch, and I will meet you at the end of the round. So I'm back, and now I'm going to slip stitch into the very first stitch because I'm going to make a second round. You can finish off, I would recommend, so if you only want to work 1 round border, I would recommend in that case to finish off with an invisible join, because it will make things easier when you crochet your both sides of the bag together. It will make things much easier. So, but I will make a second round of single crochets, and so I slip stitched, and now I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to work 1 single crochet into the very same stitch. And this one got a little bit too loose, I will fix this later. Okay, so now there is the corner again, and I will work 3 single crochets into the corner stitch again. And yeah, just work, other than that, 1 single crochet into every stitch, 3 single crochets into the corner, and I will meet you at the end of the round again. So this is what it looks like now. I worked into my last stitch, and here you can see the slip stitch and the chain 1. So now I'm just going to cut the yarn, because I'm going to make an invisible join, as I probably said in the last take. I don't know if that's the right word. Yes, but so I will just pull the loop out like this, and I'm now going to thread it onto my needle. And now I'm going to duplicate stitch the very first single crochet, and for this I'm going to go into the second stitch like this, and then I'm going back into the last stitch that I just made. You can also grab only 1 strand, it doesn't matter, but I'm grabbing 2 if I can. And I'm pulling a little bit on it so that the stitch has approximately the same size as the others. And now I'm just going to weave it in. And I really highly recommend to weave this one in immediately, because you want to make sure you will use this as a stitch again when you crochet the pieces together, and you want it to be stable. Yeah, so that was it. So in the next step we are going to crochet the front and the back piece together, and it will happen again from the back side of the work, and I will show this to you with this small sample. So I flipped the pieces on top of each other so that the right sides are facing. This is the bag opening, and I will start here at the top left corner. I made already a slip knot on my hook because I will start with a standing single crochet, and I will now find the very corner stitch on both pieces, and this is again what it looks like. It's a little bit harder to see with this light color yarn, I have the impression. Oh no, the other one was even lighter. I don't know, it's a little, maybe it's the lighting, maybe it's yeah, it's maybe the light from the outside that also makes a difference. Okay, so and now just crochet 1 single crochet into each pair, and in this case, especially on the bigger bag, I must admit I go really slow. I'm going 1 stitch at a time, so I usually am not lining these up so that I don't miss a stitch or something. It's not the end of the world, but I prefer not to have to adjust later or unravel it. So just continue in this manner, 1 single crochet into each pair until you are at the top right corner, and that's where I will meet you again. Okay, so now I'm at the top right corner in the very corner stitch, and what I wanted to say, just in case you wonder, is I also only crocheted 1 stitch into the pair of corner stitches, so I didn't do multiple or 3 stitches into the corners. I did not do that. So that's again the last single crochet is in the last corner stitch before the opening. So now we are going to flip this whole thing so that the right sides are at the outside again, and now you're going to find your loop and insert your hook. Okay, so now we are going to find the corner stitch again of this 2 rounds, the last one, and I'm going to work a single crochet directly into this corner stitch. And now I'm just going to continue working 1 single crochet into each stitch at the top of this bag, and I will work probably approximately 4 rounds, maybe 3. I don't know right now. I will look at my bag and see if I like it, and you can work as many rounds as you want to. And I don't know if I have to show you how I finish off, because we had this already a few times. Maybe I'll come back to show you how I'll finish off, and after that the only thing that's left are the handles. Okay, so work as many rounds as you want to at the top of your bag, and then we will see each other again. So I will just show you real quickly how I finished off. I finished off with an invisible join, but I did it a little bit different this time. Here where you can see that where I inserted the needle, if we go down here, you can see this is the very corner stitch. So this is the very first stitch that I started with, and then comes the invisible join, and then this stitch is the one that is also from the corner stitch of this square. So what I did was instead of working doubles the invisible join over the first stitch and going into the second stitch, I went into the first stitch and created an extra stitch over the slip stitch chain 1 gap, so to speak, because I know that I won't crochet here anymore. The only downside of this is that I don't even count at this point, but if my stitch numbers should be even, or should have been even before, which I think they should be, I created an extra stitch and now I have an odd number of stitches, which might make a little bit of a difference when it comes to sewing on the handles, because you will have then an odd number of stitches, so one side will have more stitches than the other side, but it's not that big of a deal. So that's just yeah, I think that was it. I hope this helped. So before we start, I will show you the first handle that I made. It has a long tail for sewing on one side and a long tail for sewing on the other side, and I have worked it flat. I decided to go for a flat handle this time because it has a few advantages. Advantage number 1 is it will use less yarn than the other type. The other advantage, but that might only be for me, is that it is easier to sew the handles on, but maybe not too much, but a little bit. And the third advantage is that it is possible to line this strap, this flat strap. The other handle is really beautiful in my opinion. I really like the way it looks, and it feels so soft, and I don't know if smushy or squishy is the right word, but I would say cozy. It's kind of cozy to hold this strap. I really love the feel of this. And here you can see how I have sewn it on. So I personally would recommend not only to line the bag really, also because this portion is, you know, a little bit fragile, I would say. So line the bag, that's my advice, and also go over this portion to stabilize things even more. Yes, and this one is worked like that. It is folded over. It is worked with more rows, folded over, and then I'm using one row of single crochet to crochet the pieces together. I will show you the techniques on a small sample. You can choose whatever you want to do, and yeah, I think that was it. One quick note on the second handles though, you can also stabilize these by working a cord and then putting it here into here like this, and then crocheting over it. So yeah, if you would like to stabilize this even further. Yes, okay, so let's start. Okay, so give yourself enough length of yarn tail and make a slip knot. And loosely chain the desired number of stitches or any number of stitches that you want to get to the length for the straps that you want. If you would like to follow along with the pattern, I chained 76 this time to get 75 stitches. The second handle that I also showed you, I chained 81 to get 80 stitches. Okay, some of these are a little bit too loose. Okay, so now we are going to work our first single crochet into the second stitch from the hook, but into the back bump. So we are going to turn this over, and it is also the second bump. So just insert your hook under the strand and make a single crochet. And now single crochet into every bump until the end of the row. So if you have just chained stitches without counting, then now is a good time to count, because you will need the number, of course, for your second handle or any time after this first row. And now to begin the second row, I'm going to chain 1, turn my chain work over, and just a single crochet into the very first stitch, and single crochet into every stitch until the end of the row. And if you want to work flat handles, that's all you have to do. Just work as many rows as you want to. As I probably have mentioned before, if you want to have your yarn tails for sewing on each side of the piece, you will go for an even number of rows. If you would like to follow along now even more for the second type of handle, then you will work an odd number of rows, for example 9 rows, and use the 10th row for joining. So you will again have an even number of rows in total, and both of your yarn tails on each side of the strap. Okay, so I will just work a few more rows and then I'll come back for the second type of handle. So I have worked 7 rows. Both yarn tails are on this side right now, and I'm now going to chain 1 here, and I will fold the pieces like this, because I personally prefer to have my hook in the front, but you can also fold it like this and then you will have it in the back. It doesn't matter. And now I'm going to find my very first stitch again, and I will go under both legs of the V, and I will go under both legs of the chain stitch, of the first chain stitch, and go under there, and then I'll grab the yarn, pull through, and make my single crochet. And this is it already. I'm going one stitch at a time here. Sometimes I also go like this. I line it up and I'm going just like this. But I'm very often in this case with the handles. I think I have always been off in this way if I have made it in this way. And so I really go one stitch at a time so that I don't have to fudge or adjust later. And when I'm at the end, I will show you what it looks like. So this is what it looks like now from the front, and you can sew your handle like this to the bag, or you can sew it the other way around. This is also very pretty in my opinion. The back side of the stitches that we use to join are really also really beautiful. So yes, that was it. I will show you the sewing silently or with music, let's say, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Until next time, bye!